Let me ask you something. Have you ever sat on the edge of your bed, rubbing your feet, trying to shake off that eerie tingling, that burning, crawling, electric buzz beneath your skin that makes you feel like your nerves are short-circuiting? You tell yourself, maybe I just slept wrong. Maybe I walked too much today. But deep down, a voice whispers, something isn't right. You ignore it. Days pass, weeks. Now your legs feel weaker. Steps become slower. Standing for long feels like lifting weights. Your confidence begins to shrink. You start asking yourself, is this just aging, or is my body trying to warn me? I'm here to tell you, it is. And the most shocking part, the truth might be sitting right on your kitchen counter. Yes, in your fruit bowl. There are 3 so-called healthy fruits that could be the hidden trigger behind your tingling feet and weakening leg. Fruits you've been told your whole life were good for you, and yet science is uncovering what the mainstream media, even many doctors, aren't talking about. If you're over 50, this message is your wake-up call. And if you're younger, this is your chance to protect your future before it's too late. Before we dive into this life-saving, eye-opening information, I want you to do 3 simple things. First, like this video right now if you're watching it. Not because I need validation, but because someone you love might stumble across this and realize they have the same symptoms. Second, subscribe to this channel because each week I bring you real, shocking, science-backed health advice that could literally save your legs, your balance, and your life. Third, comment below and tell me where in the world you're watching from. I want to see how far this truth can travel. Whether you're in New York, Nigeria, or New Delhi, I want your voice heard and your story told. You're not alone in this fight. Let's dive in. You see, most people think leg weakness and tingling feet are just part of getting older. It's just age, they say. It's just poor circulation, they shrug. Doctors often hand out pills for neuropathy, prescribe physical therapy, or worse, tell you to accept it. But what if I told you that the real damage might not be coming from your nerves or your muscles, but from your diet? Yes, the very thing you trust to nourish you might be silently sabotaging your strength. For decades, we've been told that fruit is nature's candy, that the more you eat, the better. But hidden within this so-called healthy advice lies one of the most dangerous traps for anyone over 50, especially those battling muscle weakness, nerve pain, or creeping fatigue in their legs. What if I told you that 3 fruits, 3 common fruits, praised as superfoods, could be behind your suffering? I know how this sounds. I know you might be thinking, that's impossible. Fruit is healthy. But if that were true, why are you losing your balance? And why do your calves feel like rubber bands ready to snap? Why do you feel that disturbing numbness when you wake up in the morning, like your legs are betraying you? You didn't ask for this. You followed the rules. You tried to eat clean. You trusted the experts. And still, your body is weakening. Let me tell you something deeply personal. I've looked into the eyes of patients who could barely walk, their hands trembling as they held the edge of my desk. Scared, desperate, confused. Dr. Tucker, they'd whisper, I don't know what's happening to me. And more times than I can count. Their blood work was normal, their scans were clean, and yet they were falling apart. And every time I dug deeper, traced their lifestyle, examined their habits, I found one shocking dietary pattern that no one else was talking about. A pattern that always included these same 3 fruits. These aren't exotic, hard to pronounce fruits from distant lands. No, these are the ones you buy every week. The ones you pack in your kids' lunches, the ones you slice into your breakfast bowl every morning, believing you're doing the right thing. But your nervous system doesn't lie. Your muscles don't lie. Your legs, your feet, your balance. They're telling you something your mind doesn't want to believe, that something you're eating is hurting you. And unless you listen, truly listen, you will continue to deteriorate. You'll walk slower, climb fewer stairs, withdraw from your own life, until one day you're staring at your reflection in the mirror wondering when you stop feeling alive. I'm going to tell you something that the fruit industry will never admit. Not all fruits are created equal. Some are genetically engineered to be sweeter than they were 50 years ago. Some have higher concentrations of natural sugars that, while not harmful in small quantities, become dangerous when consumed daily, especially for those over 50 whose insulin response, blood sugar sensitivity, and nerve resilience have already declined. I've seen people cut these 3 fruits out of their diets and within weeks regain feeling in their feet, regain strength in their legs, sleep better, stand taller, walk steadier, not because they took some miracle drug, but because they stopped poisoning themselves unknowingly. I know this sounds dramatic. I want it to sound dramatic because the stakes are life-altering. Every day you wake up with tingling feet. Every day you notice yourself gripping the rails tighter when walking downstairs is another day your nervous system is crying out for change. And if no one has told you this before, let me be the first. A solution might be simpler than you think. Not easy, but simple. I've dedicated my entire career to studying how food affects the aging brain, the shrinking muscles, the fading coordination that robs people of their independence. And I'm telling you, if you feel numbness, weakness, or unexplained fatigue in your legs, this message could be the most important health advice you hear this year. You are not broken. You are not weak, but you are under attack from within. And it's time we start fighting back. The truth is, food can be medicine or it can be slow poison. And for too long, you've been swallowing the wrong prescription disguised as healthy choices. But no more. No more blind trust. No more one-size-fits-all health advice. No more assuming that because something grows on a tree, it's automatically safe. Your body has been sending signals. Your job is to decode them, and I'm here to help you do just that. Are you ready to find out which 3 fruits might be behind your pain? Are you ready to reclaim your strength, your balance, your freedom? Good, because we're just getting started. The first fruit, it's the one you'd never suspect, the one that's been marketed as the ultimate health food for generations, the innocent-looking, brightly colored fruit you've likely had this week, if not today. It's the one they hand out at schools, put in lunch boxes, sliced into salads, and juice into brightly labeled bottles at every health store across the country. Are you ready? It's the orange. Yes, oranges. The sunshine fruit. The symbol of vitality and vitamin C. But here's what no one is telling you. When you're over 50, the natural sugars and acids in oranges can silently disrupt the delicate balance of your nervous system and accelerate nerve inflammation, especially if consumed frequently. You see, as we age, our nerves become less tolerant to spikes in blood sugar, even small ones. Oranges, especially in juice form, have a deceptively high glycemic impact. When you consume them, they cause a rapid rise in blood glucose. This can damage the tiny blood vessels that nourish your nerves, especially in the feet and legs. And if you're already on the path to insulin resistance, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes, which nearly 88 million adults in the U.S. unknowingly are, these spikes add fuel to the fire. It's like slowly fraying the wires inside your body. First, it's tingling, then numbness, then sharp, stabbing pain, and eventually loss of feeling altogether. You could step on a nail and not feel it. You could burn your foot in the bath and not know until it blisters. That's not fiction. That's what happens when nerves die. And it starts slowly with what seems like innocent fruit. You might be thinking, but oranges have vitamin C. Aren't they good for the immune system? Yes, but let me ask you this. What good is vitamin C if the cost is nerve damage? What good is one benefit if it's overshadowed by 3 silent threats? The acid in oranges, citric acid, can irritate the gut lining, inflame the bladder, and in sensitive individuals disrupt gut-brain communication, which plays a major role in muscle coordination and balance. And when you mix that with daily exposure day after day, your system becomes overloaded. Your legs bear the burden. Your feet send distress signals, and you feel it every time you stand, every time you walk, every time you try to live like you used to. Now imagine someone who drinks orange juice every morning, who snacks on orange segments in the afternoon, who thinks they're making healthy choices, when in reality, they're slowly weakening the very foundation of their body. And no one tells them, no one warns them until one day they fall or they can't stand up without help. And by then, it's often too late. I had a patient named Margaret, 72 years old, proud, strong, sharp as a tack. She walked into my office one day, terrified. I don't feel my toes anymore. Her feet were tingling constantly. She was scared to walk to the bathroom at night, scared of falling. She was taking every supplement under the sun, doing every leg exercise, but nothing helped. And when I reviewed her diet, every single morning began with a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice. She thought she was fueling herself, but in truth, she was slowly draining her strength. We cut the oranges. We supported her with targeted nerve-repairing nutrients. And in 6 weeks, she could feel her toes again. That, my friends, is the power of removing what harms you. Healing doesn't always start by adding. It starts by subtracting, by eliminating what silently breaks you down day after day. And here's what they won't say on the food labels. Oranges today are not what they were 50 years ago. They're bred for sweetness. Higher sugar means better taste, but more glucose for your already struggling nervous system. And let's not even talk about orange juice. Just one glass can have the sugar of 4 to 5 oranges. Without the fiber to slow down absorption, it's a metabolic hit to your system. And your nerves, they take the blow. If you're experiencing tingling, numbness, heaviness, or leg weakness, and orange juice are part of your daily life, it's time to stop, not forever, maybe, but long enough to let your body recover. Your legs deserve that. Your balance deserves that. Your independence demands that. And that, my friend, is only the first fruit, because there are 2 more that are equally shocking, equally overlooked, equally dangerous if you're trying to protect your legs and nerve. The second fruit, it's even more unexpected. It's a fruit so sweet, so popular, and so beloved that entire smoothies, desserts, and clean eating recipes are built around it. A fruit that you probably associate with potassium, muscle health, and energy, and yet it may be weakening you in ways you never imagined. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, I need you to ask yourself, how many foods in your kitchen are you eating just because someone once told you they were healthy? How many things have you accepted as good without ever questioning what they do to your body, your age, your conditions, your symptoms? This is the awakening. This is the moment where you begin to separate truth from tradition. Because if you want to heal, if you truly want to stop the tingling, the weakness, the slow decline, then you must be willing to unlearn everything they taught you about food. You are not crazy for feeling like something's wrong. You are not lazy. You are not imagining it. You are waking up, and the next fruit might finally explain the strange muscle weakness you feel in the morning, the heaviness in your legs after a walk, the fatigue that doesn't match your effort. What I'm about to reveal now is going to rattle everything you thought you knew about healthy eating. It's going to stir something deep within you, a realization that maybe, just maybe, you've been following advice that wasn't designed for someone in your shoes, in your age, with your nervous system, slowly screaming for help. Because the second fruit, this one is the trickster. It wears the disguise of health, but behind that yellow peel lies a shocking danger to your muscles, your legs, and the very foundation of your strength. Yes, the second fruit is the banana. Yes, Bananas, the smiling yellow fruit loved by athletes, recommended by nutritionists, and praised as a quick energy booster. You've been told they're rich in potassium, and that's true. They are. But you haven't been told the whole truth, especially not if you're over 50, especially not if your feet are tingling, if your legs are weakening, if your muscles feel tight, tired, or trembling. Let me tell you what's really happening. When you eat a banana, especially a ripe one, your blood sugar spikes, not as dramatically as orange juice, but enough to shake your insulin response. The glycemic load rises. Your pancreas jumps into action. Your nervous system feels the surge. And what's worse, bananas contain a compound called tyramine A, naturally occurring amino acid derivative that can increase blood pressure and stimulate nerve reactivity in sensitive individuals. Tyramine might sound harmless until you realize how it interacts with an aging brain and an already irritated nervous system. Many of my patients, especially those suffering from neuropathy or fibromyalgia, experience increased nerve pain, dizziness, and muscular tension after eating bananas. They don't even realize it's the cause. Why would they? They've been told bananas are gentle and easy on the stomach, but inside the body, that's not always the case. Bananas can create fermentation in the gut, especially if you suffer from low stomach acid, a common condition over 60. This fermentation creates gas, bloating, pressure on the vagus nerve, and disrupts the gut-brain connection. What happens next? Tingling feet, numb legs, weakened strides, falls. Let me tell you about Henry, 68 years old, former marathon runner, strong, disciplined, but in the past 2 years, he started feeling like his legs were betraying him. Dr. Tucker, he said, they're just not the same anymore. I stretch, I walk, but they feel heavy, like anchors. We went through his lifestyle, his supplements, his exercise. Everything was on point until we got to his breakfast. Every morning, oatmeal and a banana. Every single day, he thought he was doing everything right. But I knew better. We removed the banana, replaced it with a low glycemic anti-inflammatory fruit that nourished rather than overstimulated. In 2 weeks, the heaviness in his legs reduced. In 4 weeks, he felt balance returning. In 6, he called me and said, I feel like I got my legs back. And he had. You see, bananas are not evil, but for certain bodies, especially aging ones with compromised circulation, inflamed nerves, or insulin resistance, they act like sugar bombs. They trigger inflammation. They block deep muscle recovery. They cause false spikes in energy followed by crashes. And worst of all, they cloud your healing process. You're doing everything else right, but this one fruit holds you back like a ball and chain around your ankles. You need to ask yourself, are you eating to feel better short term or to truly heal for life? Because when your feet start tingling, when your legs start shaking, when you can't walk to the kitchen without holding the wall, nothing else matters. Your independence is on the line. And that banana you thought was helping, it may be sabotaging you in silence. And here's the worst part. Bananas are sprayed with ethylene gas to control ripening. Overripe bananas have more sugar. More sugar means more oxidative stress. More oxidative stress means your mitochondria, the powerhouse of your muscle cells, begin to shut down. You lose endurance, you lose energy, you lose strength, and I refuse to let that happen to you. So here's my challenge to you. Stop eating bananas for 14 days. Remove them from your morning routine. Replace them with blueberries, raspberries, or low-sugar fruits like kiwi or papayas. Fruits that are anti-inflammatory, nerve-soothing, and gentle on the gut. Give your body space to breathe and just wait. Feel your legs regain their life. Feel your balance return. Feel your energy finally make sense again because you deserve it. You deserve to stand without wobbling, to walk without pain, to live without fear of fallings. And if you've come this far, you're ready for the final fruit, the third culprit. This one, it'll knock the breath out of you because unlike the first two, which at least look healthy, This third fruit is glamorized beyond belief, trendy, exotic, seen as a superfood by the media, packed into protein shakes, sold in every health aisle, endorsed by influencers and celebrities alike. But inside it holds a chilling secret that slowly suffocates your nerve function, drains your muscular power, and accelerates the very aging you're trying to fight. Now take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you will shake the ground beneath your beliefs. This third fruit, this so-called superfruit, has been promoted like a miracle. It's in your smoothies. It's in your acai bowls. It's in your protein bars. It's on magazine covers and wellness blogs. But what they never told you is this. This one fruit, when consumed regularly, especially by people over 60, can send your nervous system into chaos, cause muscular imbalance, and intensify the very leg weakness you're trying to heal. The third fruit is the acai berry. Shocking, isn't it? You've been told it's a gift from the Amazon, a dark purple jewel rich in antioxidants, polyphenols, and life-extending compounds. And yes, it can be powerful. But here's what they never say on the label. The acai berry you're eating isn't what you think it is. Most of the acai available in stores is processed, flash pasteurized, sugar packed, stripped of its original structure. It's no longer a healing fruit. It's a commodity mixed with cane syrup, enhanced with preservatives, buried in sugary yogurts, and blended with fruit juices that push its glycemic index through the roof. What you get is not anti-aging magic. It's a neuroinflammatory cocktail. You think you're feeding your brain, your nerves, your body. But in reality, you're feeding the storm. Do you know what this does to your legs, your feet, your trembling muscles? The answer is chilling. The highly processed acai spikes your blood sugar. Over time, it inflames the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. That's the protective layer that carries oxygen and nutrients to your nerves and muscles. When that lining is irritated, the supply chain of life is compromised. Your lower limbs, already vulnerable due to aging, slowed circulation, and reduced nerve signaling, start to weaken. Not overnight, not loudly, but slowly, quietly, day by day, you begin to trip more. Your ankles feel stiff. Your knees tremble ever so slightly when you stand up. And when you tell someone, they say, that's normal. It's just aging. No, it's not normal. It's a warning sign. Your body is begging you to pay attention. I had a patient named Lisa, 63, fierce, lively. She swore by her acai bowls every morning. They make me feel energized, she said. But behind that temporary boost was a steady collapse. Her blood sugar was unstable, her feet tingled at night, her balance was off. She had no idea why, until we looked at her food diary. Every day, an acai smoothie loaded with sweeteners, banana and almond milk, a disguised sugar bomb with a neurotoxic effect. We removed it, replaced it with clean, whole food breakfasts, rich in protein, healthy fats, and real antioxidants from foods like spinach, turmeric, wild blueberries. In 10 days, her energy stabilized, and 14, the tingling faded. 21, she danced with her granddaughter without fear of falling. That's not magic, that's science, that's healing. You see, the body is not asking for hype, it's asking for help. And that help starts with awareness. The acai berry is not your enemy, but the way it's being used, that's the real threat. If you're over 60, if you suffer from weak legs, if your feet tingle or your hands tremble, get rid of this processed acai for the next 14 days. Watch how your nerves react. Feel how your muscles shift. Sense the calm returning to your nervous system. This isn't just about fruit. It's about truth. They sold you a fantasy. I'm giving you the facts. You've now heard the 3 shocking fruits, orange juice, bananas, and acai, that are silently stealing your strength. But here's the part no one talks about. When you remove the bad, you must replace it with the good. You must nourish your nerves, rebuild your muscles, and you must do it now. because time is not on your side. Every day you delay is another step lost, another fall risk, another night of waking up to tingling feet or numb toes or trembling knees. You deserve better than that. So right now, I want you to take action. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Clean out your kitchen. Say goodbye to the sugar-loaded fruits that are sabotaging your progress. And say yes to healing. Say yes to the next 14 days of radical transformation. I've seen it happen hundreds of times. You've no idea how fast your body can turn around until you give it the right environment, the right fuel, the right respect. This isn't about restriction. It's about resurrection. You're not just fixing your legs. You're reclaiming your life. Because if you've made it this far, you're ready. You're ready for the truth they don't want you to hear. You're ready to finally understand why your legs feel like lead, why your toes tingle at night, why the stairs feel steeper than they used to. You're ready to begin the 14-day nerve and muscle revival protocol. The plan has helped thousands of people over 60 feel alive again, stand tall again, and walk with power, grace, and confidence again. But first, you need to understand what's really happening inside your body. When you consume sugar-dense fruits like orange juice, bananas, and processed outside, your blood sugar fluctuates wildly, and these fluctuations are more than just energy crashes. They are electric storms inside your nervous system. Each spike damages delicate nerves. Each crash robs your muscles of fuel. Over time, the insulation around your nerves, the myelin sheath, begins to thin. Messages from your brain to your feet become delayed. Your balance falters. Your legs weaken. You start walking slower, less far. And then one day, you find yourself afraid to leave the house. But that fear, it's not final, because your nerves can heal, your muscles can rebuild, your strength can return. But you must feed your body what it truly needs. Not sugar, not hype, not superfood marketing, real food, real fuel, real healing. So here's what you're going to do for the next 14 days, day 1 through day 3. Clean this slate. These are your detox days. Not a starvation detox, but a neurological reset. You will eliminate the 3 dangerous fruits. No orange juice, no bananas, no acai in any form. You will also reduce all processed sugars. Every breakfast will now begin with a healing combination of healthy fat, protein, and fiber. For example, a spinach and mushroom omelet with avocado, or chia seed pudding made with unsweetened almond milk, cinnamon, and a handful of fresh berries. Why? Because fat stabilizes blood sugar, protein rebuilds nerves, and fiber feeds your gut, the command center of your nervous system. Day 4 through day 7, turn on the power. Now your body is ready to repair. You'll begin introducing anti-inflammatory powerhouses that restore nerve function and boost circulation. Add turmeric to your meals. Cook with olive oil. Snack on walnuts and pumpkin seeds. Begin your day with lemon water and magnesium-rich leafy greens like kale or Swiss chard. Your goal here is to calm the internal inflammation caused by sugar and insulin resistance. If you can, begin short daily walks. 10 minutes is enough. Motion activates muscular and neural repair. Day 8 through day 10 reveal the connection. This is when the real change begins. You'll feel energy returning to your legs. The tingling might begin to fade. You might stand up and realize, I feel stronger. Now you're going to support your myelin sheath, the insulation around your nerves. Add foods rich in B vitamins like eggs, wild salmon, and lentils. If possible, consider supplementing with a high-quality B complex, especially B1, B6, B9, and B12. Drink plenty of water because hydration is crucial for nerve signaling. And begin light stretching or resistance band exercises for your legs, especially calves, quads, and hamstrings. Day 11 through day 14, regeneration mode. You're almost there. Now your body begins building new neural pathways. You'll start noticing quicker reaction times, improved balance, more control, and emotionally, you'll feel younger, braver, more grounded. During these days, double down on nutrient-rich meals, bone broth soups, steamed vegetables, fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi for gut support, and dark-colored berries like blueberries or blackberries, rich in anthocyanins that protect your nerves from oxidative damage. This is your victory lap. Stay consistent, stay proud, because you're becoming unstoppable. But let me say this clearly. The protocol is not just about food. It's about focus. It's about refusing to be sidelined by lies, about choosing strengths when the world expects weakness. It's about reclaiming your freedom, one step at a time. I've seen men in their 70s hike again, women in their 60s dance again, people who were afraid to cross the street without a walker now running laps in their local park. And it all started with a decision to stop trusting trendy diets and start trusting their bodies. Your body is talking to you. The tingling, the weakness, the trembling, those are not your enemies. They're your messengers. They're begging you to change course before it's too late. So now I ask you, will you listen? Will you rise? Will you take the next 14 days to rediscover what it feels like to stand strong? You're not broken. You're not done. You're not too old. You are wired to heal. But first, you must clear the interference, get rid of the sugar bombs, say goodbye to fake fruits, and say hello to your new legs, your new strength, your new life. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly felt alive? I'm not talking about just breathing. I'm not talking about surviving. I'm talking about living, walking without fear, standing without pain, looking at the mirror and seeing a warrior instead of a worrier. Do you remember that version of yourself? The one who didn't hold the handrail when climbing stairs, the one who danced without worrying about falling, the one who didn't feel electric shocks in your feet or heavy lead in your legs. That version of you is not gone. It's just been buried under misinformation, buried under sugar, buried under years of ignoring the whispers of your nervous system until they became screams. But you know what the most beautiful part of this story is? You get to unbury it. You get to resurrect that strength. You get to rewrite your story, not as a slow decline, but as the greatest comeback of your life. Because listen to me, your muscles are listening, your nerves are listening. And right now it's saying, I'm ready. So here's what you do next. You finish this video and you make one small decision. Just one. Maybe you go to your fridge and throw away that bottle of orange juice. Maybe you skip the banana in your cereal. Maybe you delete that overpriced acai bowl app on your phone. Maybe you decide right here, right now, that you're not going to wait for another diagnosis, another fall, another sleepless night, wondering why your legs feel like jelly. You decided you're enough and you're done letting weakness win, because your legs are not just limbs. They are your freedom. They carry your memories. They take you to the people you love. They are the foundation of your independence. And if they're hurting, trembling, weakening, then your whole life starts to shrink. But now you know the truth. Now you know the silent enemies. Now you hold the blueprint to rebuild. And what will that rebuilt life look like? It will look like walking with your head high, not your eyes down, searching for stability. It will look like standing in the shower without holding onto the wall. It will look like dancing with your spouse, lifting your grandchild, going to the park, taking the stairs, laughing out loud because you can. That's what's waiting on the other side of these 14 days. And you don't need a miracle. You just need commitment. Because I promise you, if you follow this path, if you remove the lies and replace them with fuel, if you stay consistent even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, then you will wake up one morning and that tingling in your feet will be gone. Your knees won't wobble. Your balance will return. And you'll realize something extraordinary. You never lost your strength. It was just waiting for you to rise again. This is not just about health. It's about legacy. It's about being the kind of example that your family looks up to and says, look at them. Look how they turned their life around. Look how they refuse to give up. Be that person. And remember, The people who told you this was just aging, they were wrong. Weakness is not your destiny. Tingling feet are not your prison. And fruit, real fruit, the right kind at the right time can be medicine. But the wrong fruit, the wrong marketing, the wrong information, that's poison. You now have the antidote. So share this message. Tell others what you learned. Save a life, save a limb. And if this speech opened your eyes, if it shook your beliefs, if it gave you hope, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from, because I want to celebrate your journey. I want to walk this path with you. I want to hear your story, the story of your comeback. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are powerful beyond measure. Now go show the world, and I'll see you on the other side of your transformation. Let me leave you with this. There will come a day, maybe soon, when you wake up and stand on your feet, and for the first time in what feels like years, there's no tingling, no trembling, no weakness, just stillness, strength, stability. And in that moment, you will remember this very day, the day you heard the truth, the day you stopped accepting weakness as your fate, the day you looked fear in the eye and said, not me, not now, not ever again. Because from this day forward, you are no longer the victim of silent suffering. You are the architect of your healing. You are the warrior who rose from muscle pain, nerve damage,